Let that shit slide. Let that shit slide.
Man, put the eighth down and come solve these problems.
I have Corey on the line. What do they call you? Where you from?
They call me Corey.
Nicknames. What's your nickname? I know you got everybody got nicknames.
My family calls me Corey. If you know me, if you grew up with me, you call me Corey. My friends, as I became older, they started to call me Twan. Twan is actually my middle name. And, Antoine, short for Antoine. The reason why I started being called Twan is because in my friend group, there was already a Corey. And so when they would say our name, we both would answer. So we was like, no, we got to fix that. So I said, just call me Twan. And now I'm called Twan. If you step outside of my work, if you step outside of my family and people that knew me from like back in the day, they call everyone calls me Twan. Like if you were to come up here to DC where I'm at, everyone calls me Twan. All of my friends that I've met from a decade ago, they all call me Twan. Now you go around my family, they're going to call me Corey.
Got it. That's kind of big of you in my opinion. And I say that for the simple fact that you could have kept Corey and made them change their name. Why is it that, and not why, what made you want to go with you changing instead of like, I'm going to stand on it, keep mine, and you got to change your name?
You know what? I kind of made up Twan online as like an alter ego. Like I would be on on MySpace, and that would be my own personal name that I would put up there. I would never put my first real name up there or my last name. I would just say Twan. And so I made that up myself. And so when my friend group formed and there was another Corey and it was 4 of us, I just said, you know what, let me just keep going along with it in my real life and not just online. You get what I'm saying? Right. I started doing everything Twan. When I opened up my first YouTube, I was Miami Twan. And, you know what I'm saying, even like some of my passwords was Twan, Twan. So I kind of made up Twan myself. And then when that happened, I just kind of went along with it. I was like, okay, we're just going to keep up with Twan. I'll take Twan. You can keep Corey, and then it just went from there. So I actually answered to both of them. You don't know.
Who the hell call you Miami? Yeah, Miami Twan. I like that one though. I like Miami Twan. That's funny. Mm-hmm. I like that. It sounds like a drug dealer on some real shit. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Now this is a conversation. This is me and you talking. So I don't want you to feel like you're being interrogated or interviewed or nothing. If you want to ask me stuff, feel free. We just talking. All right. But I do have a set of questions that I am gonna ask you. But at the same time, we just talking, bro. Sure. So, what's your motto? Words to live by?
My motto?
Or either words to die to? Yeah, what's your motto in life?
My motto would probably be, it's the regular golden rule. It's the rule that the universal law, do unto others as you have them do unto you. I do believe in karma coming back to you, and the way you treat people is what you will get in return. So I just believe in just the normal golden rules of life. You know, that would be my motto. I treat everyone as if how I would want them to treat me. Now, I do believe in meeting you at your energy. You get what I'm saying? I really won't give you more than what you will probably give me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've been that person to go above and beyond with my energy for someone that was lacking their energy with me. And I learned how to pull back and fall back from that. Because that can lead to you stressing yourself out. And overcompensating for someone that's not really pulling their weight in your life. So,
how do you identify that though? Like, how do you identify when someone's like not living up to par or pulling their own weight? Like, how do you identify that?
I identify that by and it's not really materialistic things. It's energy. Like, let me give an example. If you're the type of person that, if you're building a relationship with someone, whether it's a friendship, whether it's any type of relationship as far as intimate or anything, and you are putting in most of the energy, like you're doing all the calling, you're doing all of the texting, and they're not reciprocating that same energy back to you. That's what I mean by that. And then I base it off of that. Like, and I know sometimes people, their lives tend to get in the way, and people have their own things going on. But I honestly believe that if someone really wants to be in your life, they'll be there. They will make time. They will find a way. And some people will step out of their own selves. Like, okay, example, I know there are some people that say, I'm not a phone person. They'll say, oh, I'm not really a phone person. But I've come to know that if you are interested in building a relationship with someone in any type of way, you will sometimes step out of your own comfort zone to just like, you know what, I kind of like them. I'll talk a little bit more on the phone with them because I really want to get to know this person. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
and that's what I mean by meeting you at the same level. Like if the communication, if just things seem to be more one-sided, that's what I mean by, we're meeting at the same energy.
when you say not a phone person, do you mean like they don't like to talk at all, or they just don't like to, they'll text but they don't like to talk, or they just don't like to use the phone, period?
Most of the time when people are like, they're not a phone person, they'll say that means talking. Like, they don't really like to talk on the phone. Yeah. They'll text you all day, but when it comes to communicating openly on the phone, I'm not really a phone person, All
right, well, now watch this. I like to listen to what people be saying. So with that, if they're saying that they're not a phone person, but if you do text them, you get constant communication. There's no like ghosting. They ain't dropping off for days at a time or hours at a time. Like, you can still get communication. It's just that the phone call is the struggle. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now,
but there are levels to it. There are levels to it, and that goes back to what you're about to say, communication.
Because you already know. You got to listen to them. Like, if somebody's saying, I ain't that tight, they ain't that tight. Now, you looking at it like, well, they might not be that tight right now, but I'm different. They going to change for me. So when we get together, I'm going to need them to be talking to me. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not necessarily saying they're going to change for me, even though it may sound that way. What I'm saying is, have you ever been in a situation to where you step out of yourself because of something that you like or something that you were in? You're like, I normally wouldn't do this, or I normally wouldn't do that. But you know what I'm saying? And my mindset is not to change you, but my mindset is to say, I just believe, this is what I could be wrong, but I just believe that if you really, and this is, now I'm solely talking about relationships. I'm talking about relationships and you getting to know someone on an intimate level. I believe in my heart that if you like someone like that, you're going to do things to make you want to keep up that relationship. Even if it's you making an extra phone call when you don't want to do it, because you don't want anyone to take that spot because you're really into this person. And y'all have already communicated that this other person, now this is after the communication has been said. Like, if I tell you, well, you tell me you're not a phone person, and I tell you, well, I want to hear your voice more on the phone, we need to compromise on that. And I feel like if you really like me like that, I'm willing to say, okay, he or she is not a phone person. I'm willing to be okay with not talking as much, and you should be willing to be okay with talking a little more. If you get what I'm saying, we're going to compromise. It's going to be give and take. Maybe instead of like, if you make call once every 2 days, maybe twice every 2 days. That may be more for you. It may not be enough. I like you to talk 5 times a day, but I said, you know what, I'm going to take the 2. because you're actually, you're putting in some effort. You understand what I'm saying?
So I do.
Are you laughing at me or are you laughing with me?
Well, because in a perfect world, what you're saying could make sense. Like that could make sense in a perfect world. But if you didn't tell me what you told me from the very beginning by saying this person is telling you, I ain't a phone person. So I'm a text, but I ain't really gonna talk. And you coming in already saying, well, we need to compromise. That's interesting. That's it. I like to be because they're clearly communicating where they are, and you're clearly communicating where you are and what you need, your needs. But then, are you upset that this person can't give you what you need when they've already kind of expressed that ain't in them?
No, I wouldn't say I'd be upset, but I would probably be maybe, okay, how can I put it? Because I see where you're going with this. But
I can't be mad at the other person if they done said it.
Right.
Now, if they done reeled you in with soon in the beginning, we getting all this long conversation, woo, late night, everything. We up to the morning, and then now all of a sudden that cut back, and I'm just straight texting. Oh yeah, I got something to say on that. But if you came in with that, like, hey, I ain't really no phone person, and then watch this. I even gave you an out. I made sure to get this information first too. The texting. If you text, you can get communication. Oh, you might get a paragraph. Like, you can get communication. It's just you ain't getting what you want, and they already expressed that they don't really do that. So, what's up? Talk to me on that. I ain't trying to beat you up, but I'm just listening to what you're telling me. So, what's up? Bring me back on your side. I want to see you win. I always want to see you win in these conversations. Anything we talk about, it's always that way. So come on now.
I don't know what to say, Eric. I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. not a problem. Not a problem. I don't know. I'm always looking for solutions. You see, I'm a fixer as well. So when you tell me stuff like that, I'm trying to see how we can meet somewhere in the middle. And I know the compromise that you were talking about. Hypothetically, that sounds great.
So, okay, now I have a question for you.
Did they do it? Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for you. So, being that it is that, right? So you're saying that person should not be willing to compromise just because they told me ahead of time?
No, I think they should compromise if you give them a reason to compromise. You can't come in expecting compromise. What have you done? What have you given for me to compromise? I already told you how I am.
Right?
Huh? Well, because
I've given everything. As a matter of fact, I've given up some things, like for you. Like
But did they ask? I don't need specifics. Watch this. Did they ask you to give up anything? Let me say that. Let me start there. Was there a request for Miami Twan to give up anything?
Yeah, it has been. There has been. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, then there we go. Yeah. So if that is the case, then it got to be some give and take. That's where we at. Go ahead. Yeah, got to be some give and take. I'm saying
you give a little, I give a little.
Right. I agree with that. If there has been requests on both sides, then yes, we need to both be compromising and meet somewhere in the middle. But that's what I'm saying. I probe because I need more information sometimes, but I still stay surface. Right. I don't really need the details unless you want to tell me. It's up to you.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't, let me tell you, I wouldn't ask anyone to compromise for me unless I'm willing to compromise something for them. I wouldn't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do.
All right, well, how about this one? Has someone ever given you a last chance? And for what? I know we used to always give ultimatums. It's different when we get one.
Let me be open. I'm here to be open. I was in a situation. Can I use examples? Because that's my
Go ahead.
I was in an example.
Give me one specific, because I'm gonna break it down. One specific one. Let's go.
One specific example was I was dealing with someone that, and I was young then. I was in the middle of wanting a relationship, and okay, I wanted to be in a relationship, but I wasn't ready. So I was indecisive about being in a relationship, but I was doing everything that relationships do. Like, we were doing everything that couples do. And I was in that situation once years later, as I got older, as we talked about before. But this situation, I was given an ultimatum by this person to, hey, what you going to do? We doing all of this. We doing all of that. We doing things that couples do. And I either want you all in or none. I need all or none. And I chose none because
you stepped off.
I stepped off because I wasn't ready for that person in particular. But yeah, that was the one time that I can remember that someone gave me, yeah, they did that to me. They gave me the ultimatum right there.
Well, how long were y'all together?
On a year.
What was it about that particular person that you felt like you weren't ready? And I asked you that because you kind of emphasized that compared to in the beginning you stated that you yourself were not ready for a relationship. Then you proceeded and you kind of was like, well, I just knew
that happened to me years later to where I was ready and someone else wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, what you were saying about that person, what made me not ready? First of all, I knew I was young. You know, sometimes when you're young, you think you know everything. You think you're mature enough. But as I didn't know how to be in a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what it took. I didn't know how to function. I didn't know what to do. It was a little bit of fear. It was a little bit of, this person was kind of coming on stronger than what I've ever felt. I wasn't used to that. I was used to doing play puppy love kind of stuff. But this person was so serious and like, I want to do this. I want to travel. I was like, travel? What does that mean? You know, I was young then. You know, I was like 23 years old. I didn't know anything about nothing. They had their own everything. That was like one of the first people I talked to. They had their own everything. They were working. They had a car. They had their own condo. And I was like, oh my God, am I ready for all of this? And they were. And it scared me. And it scared me away.
Man, I got to ask you this. Try to be honest on this question.
Yes, sir.
In that relationship, did that person like you more than you liked them? Or was it kind of equal? Or were you like head over heels over this person and that person was kind of not as much as into you? Like, where was it on the spectrum of the relationship? I ask that because it's usually always not an even balance. But go ahead.
For sure he liked me more.
Bang. All right. Who do you stay with? So the one who wants you or the one that you want? You know, like it's usually because we'll go after the one that we want, which you might get them. You might, sometimes you don't. But the one who wants you, you don't really take that one as serious. So, you know, now, I'm not saying you personally. I'm speaking in general because that's life. But I don't know. I thought about that. Like, damn. Like as you talking, I'm like, I can feel this. Like I hear what you're saying, but because of what you said at the end and how you switched it, it was more of the person. It wasn't so much of you weren't ready for the relationship or the commitment, and they had all the stuff. Yeah, but it still wouldn't have been enough. It still wouldn't have been enough. That's the thing.
You're right.
So it's a tough one. Yeah,
and the question is, like what you asked, you would want, and you would know that the person that wants you would be the better option because you know for a fact that that person really is there for you. And then the person that you want, like you said, for the most part, that person isn't reciprocating that same type of energy or love or whatever that you want in return. You're being the one that's, you know what I'm saying, giving of yourself to that person for the most part. I've been in both of those situations. I've been all around to that. I've been the person that I was wanted this person so bad that I really didn't you know what I'm saying, show me the same thing with that person I was talking to. Same, I've been in the roles have been reversed back and forth, so I know what it's like.
I feel like, I mean, I can relate. Shit, I done been there. Well, you know, like you want them, but they, I don't know. It's like you're into them way more than they are into you. You kind of, I had to start working on this. Don't hold them up on a pedestal. Don't hold them up, even though you might have all that like interest. It may sound cold, but I'm gonna say it, man. You gotta kind of treat them the same. You gotta kind of treat them just, you know,
that goes with the energy I spoke
win.
about. That goes with the energy I spoke about earlier. Meeting someone at the same energy level. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I talked about earlier. Meeting them at the same energy level. I had to learn that within recent months, years in the relationship I'm in now. I had to learn that. Because, like you said, and like, you know, you and we are fixers. We are the type of, I see an issue, I know, I got this. I know, I see your mental trauma from your childhood, but guess what? My loving heart, my kindness, that's going to soothe all of that, and it doesn't. You know, and then at the end of the day, it ends up being your trauma, and it ends up, you become their punching bag. And they sometimes utilize that against you because they know you love them so much. So they're going to treat you accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you love me that much anyway. I can do this and get away with it because you already know that I'm hurt, so you are afraid to hurt me even more. So you're going to allow me to get away with this.
You can't let them take your energy though, man. Can't let them do that.
No.
Nice.
I'm learning, as we're talking right now, I'm in class of that. I'm in class of that. I've been tested these last few months about allowing my energy to be zapped out of me when I know I'm surrounded with relatively good energy. I try to be in a positive light at all times. And I think the first thing when it comes down to that is recognizing it. A lot of times we are blinded by other things that are going on around us that we don't even recognize when our energy is being sapped, who's zapping our energy. Or we recognize it and we ignore it because we don't want to say, no, that person's not doing that. And I did a lot of ignoring. I knew, but I did a lot of ignoring. And that's another thing. That's like turning a blind eye.
Boy, yeah. I hate the fact that you had to learn so late in life. You know, that's tough. Like when I come around bad energy, weirdo vibes, any of that type of shit, man, I get the fuck. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say it like this. People who know me, my loved ones, they know I talk. Like like I said earlier, opinionated. I'm talking. I'm asking questions. You know, but genuinely though, not just for the sake of. You know, I'm really concerned. I really want to try to help if I can. So that's me. But new people that I come around or I encounter, they might think I'm standoffish because I observe, I watch, I listen.
As you should.
You know, I do ask questions sometimes if it's appropriate, but that's only if I care. A lot of times that energy already let me know, like, oh yeah, nah, I ain't on that. Because I had to learn, like, you don't cast your pearls to swine. Like, so everybody ain't ready for your energy. Everybody can't receive it like that. And then you thinking you trying to help somebody, man, they might like try to hurt you because you're trying to help them, or they just don't know how to receive it. They think you all that.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
Right. So, nah, man, I distance myself from that. You know, like, I minimize contact to minimize the conflict. Because I think a lot of times when us as black people, when we get together, it's a lot of nonsense, and then it turns into conflict. And now we at each other. And I ain't on that. I'm trying to be positive. You know, I'm trying to, like, stay focused on the mission right now. So I minimize the contact with bad energy.
How we were taught, we were raised in the church. That's that spirit. They call it a spirit. That is real. You ever been in a situation where you're having a good day and someone came and sapped the air right out of you? Or sapped the energy, the good energy and the good light that you were sharing with yourself. Someone came and sapped that right up. That's all real. You know what I mean? It's so real. And now that I'm older, I can't allow that to take hold of, I can't allow that to be a constant in my day-to-day adult, really, really grown life.
Let's get out of that then. When have you ever made a first move? Give me a time you made a first move.
A first move on anything?
Wherever your mind goes?
Or what you mean? Where my mind goes?
Wherever your
First
mind
move.
goes.
I made the first move and I went with it. Taking this job, making this move here. The opportunity came about, I moved.
So talk me through it because, like, yeah, what'd you do? What'd you do?
I was offered to work here, and it was like, you can do this, or you can do something else that I wasn't really particular. I didn't really want to do with my life. I actually was thinking about going back to school, something I really did not want to do, especially this late in life. And then the way that, the economy is changing and the world is changing, some of those degrees is becoming obsolete. You know what I'm saying? And
wait a minute. So you were in one location, like in a different state, and then you moved to another state because of a job. Is that what you're telling me? You got to understand that people listening. So even though you may feel like I know this stuff, they don't know what you're talking about at all.
Yeah.
At all.
It was a career choice.
Okay, so now, and it's also in your field, meaning like you got some kind of schooling or certification or degree or something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, a specialty. All right, bet.
Yeah,
all right, we're on the same page. Just want to make sure. Laying the foundation. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so, and I just feel like if I would not have made that first move, I think I would have been and also, like I said, I'm spiritual. I was in a place, it was during COVID, and I was in a place where I was kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. I was working in one place, lost that job due to COVID, and I was like, I need to make a choice now. I need to make a decision now, because if I don't, I'm going to be destitute and broke. No one's in the business of taking care of a 30-something-year-old grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, I really cannot afford to be a dependent. You know what I mean? I made a life choice, and I made the first move on this job. Like, it was one of, I had different things lined. Well, I guess I had different things lined up. It was my first option. And I took it. I said, I'm just going to take it. I'm not going to even give myself the opportunity to take any other options, because even though I knew there were other options that could be possible, I said, I'm going to take this because my heart is leading me this way. And the things that were happening around me were falling into place very quickly. I was like, this is spiritual. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I did. This is somebody, I'm a serial procrastinator. I am trying to grow out of that. I still struggle with that to this day, but I tend to be a serial procrastinator. Even if something looks good and I know it could benefit me or it could be something good for me, I still tend to procrastinate because I tend to worry and I tend to allow my thoughts and mind to get in the way of me moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And this type of move, even people who know me, like my friends, they were just so amazed that I even did this, except one. And I kind of my best friend, she was like, you know what, you've always been that type of person that I could never see you being complacent anyway. You know what I'm saying? You've already made big moves. I made one big move when I left Lakeland and moved to Miami on my own, just out of the whim, saying I wanted to get away because I wasn't progressing there. And I got there, and that's when I moved into my first apartment by myself. I had a lot of firsts moving back. I can say moving back to Miami because that's where I was born at. And moving back to Miami, I had a lot of firsts, and I feel like that experience was supposed to happen for me because it raised me. It grew me up from being this green, very sheltered, church-going boy that everyone already knew. But I feel like it was shaking me up to be able to face the world head on. You know, because, you know, living in Lakeland and living in that area could be it's kind of one-sided, you know what I mean? It's not much happening there. It's starting to, you know, the world itself is starting to open up. But, you know, back then, you know, there wasn't really nothing buzzing on there. And so...
Yeah, but leaving this area and then going to Miami, that can be intimidating.
Very. I was terrified, terrified. And I got family all down there. My dad's family that I knew but didn't really know as much as I knew my mother's side, of course. I was actually getting to know them as I lived down there those almost 15 years. Yeah, it was very, very intimidating, very scary for me at first. But once I got I'm not even going to say at first, I'm not going to say it was scary. It was just so different from what I already knew. The people were different, you know, just everything about it was so different. I was taken back about a lot of things. I was intrigued and frightened at the same time about a lot of things. And then me being a 20-something-year-old, 21-year-old in a big city, oh, yeah. At first it was good. You know, I had so many ups and downs from that experience, but I don't regret any of it.
Yeah, and how long have you been there since you made the move?
I've been here a year.
All right.
I've been here a year. Mm-hmm. I've been here a year. Mm-hmm.
Could you see yourself making that your home?
Yeah. I mean, can I be real with you? Let's talk real.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I love being here. I don't dislike it. I think I would say that if there is a downside to it, is I don't know anyone here. I'm like by myself. All of my family is, you know, in Florida, of course, and that can be very disheartening. But I do want to eventually not be so complacent in the world. Let me explain what I mean. I just have this underlining thing that I do feel like I made the right choice by moving here, but I still have it's like a tapping to explore. You know what I mean? If I were to say 3 years from now move to Texas or move to New York or move somewhere else, I would not be surprised by that. Not saying that's something I don't want to be at this job anymore, but I've always had this thing ever since I was younger that I want to move around. I want to move around. My dream is to, and you know, about I would say maybe a few years ago, I started a little LLC with a friend of mine, and I think I'm going to transition that into something different in order for it to be helpful to what I really want to do. As far as like if I'm thinking about moving around, like this may sound corny, and I tell people this, and people are like, "Oh, really?" You know, some people are like, "Oh my God, that's a great idea." I really don't care if this is how I feel. I want to be in a what you call those things, Winnebago, an RV, and I want to drive. I want to wake up next to the Grand Canyon one day. Next week we're at the Appalachian Mountains. Next week I'm on Miami. Next week I'm in Georgia. The following week I'm in California. The following week, I want to do that so bad. I want to do that so bad. And I'm right now, I think this is my first stop to actually, and the position I'm in and what I'm doing now, I think God is probably preparing me for that because that feeling is being much stronger. And the things that I want to do and how I'm prepping myself for that. I want to do that. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah, you can plan it. You can plan that shit. I mean, but look, you have the job you have now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm planning that now. And with this job, I recently found out that I could actually, in a sense, do that and still be a part of the organization, if you will. a friend of mine, well, the person who actually got me hired onto this job, they are always on the move, and they have a position to where they are kind of like, I wouldn't say recruiters, but they are out kind of teaching about the organization. I work for an organization that deals with people with intellectual and like just disabilities, people with Down syndrome and things of that nature. Most of them, well, all of them are adults, and they live away from home, and we are kind of like their life managers, if you will. So like right now, I have a client now. I'm actually here with my client, and he's very independent in certain things, but there's a stopping point, and I'm there to help him along the way, to give him that extra, push in his life. He's older. He's an older guy, but he has intellectual disabilities to where he can't function at 100%. You know what I'm saying? He won't be able to maintain his household if I wasn't around. You know what I mean?
Right. Does he have any type of behavior plan or anything like that?
Yes, he does. No. He doesn't. My client doesn't have a behavior plan. He doesn't have a behavior plan.
Okay.
There are some that I work with that do. There are some that I work with that do have behavior plans. Yeah, my client is very, very independent. He just has like some, some issues with high functioning issues. That's what I was looking for.
So I see what you're saying in the sense of like you enjoy what you do. So it's not like you want to leave. You said that, but you could see yourself moving around doing something different. Like that Winnebago life calling your name. I don't know, man. Do it while you're young. As long as this job has some transferable type skills, you can parlay that into something different. I ain't saying you have to leave, but man, live your life, to the max.
Yeah. But I'm content where I am right now, But I feel like, and I'm learning to become proud of myself and not feel as if whatever I accomplish is still isn't enough. I struggle with that too. I have struggled with that.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I'm getting deep on you a little bit about myself.
It's funny you say that because I have the last question, and it's actually ocean deep. Let's go with it. Let's see. So let's discuss something in your life you just can't seem to get over or push through. Even like as the time passes or the years go on, like this is something that's reoccurring, and you just can't figure out why you can't get through this. Let's talk about something like that.
Oh, now you want to get deep.
Hey.
Something that I cannot seem to get through. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give you a little backstory about myself and why. And this is more of a personal thing to me. It's more personal to me. I'm gonna personalize it for myself. No one else really did. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, oh, this person did this, I can't get over it. No, I'm gonna talk about myself now. And I'm gonna talk about I'm referring back to my mother. I said earlier, my mom passed away when I was 12. And that changed the trajectory of how I feel about myself in my life till this day. Okay? When my mother passed away, a few years after that, I ain't going to say a few years, till this day, I started having issues with depression and anxiety. I suffered with that. I still do to this day, and it's manifested itself into my sleep patterns. I'll go through times where I'm sleeping like a rock. Then I'll just have, my anxiety will kick in, and I don't sleep I don't sleep, but I have problems sleeping for like 3 or 4 days at a time. I only sleep 3 hours or in 2-hour intervals, and I'll wake up, and I feel like that happening to me, it kind of changed how I see life. And at one point, my anxiety was so bad, I didn't know what it was at 15 years old. I don't know if I told you this. I was sitting at my house in the middle of the night, rocking on my bed, and because I couldn't sleep. And I would have to go into my cousin's room to get some type of, I don't know what it was, to make myself even fall asleep. And I would worry about everything. I would think if I were, because my mother was sick before she died, so I watched her pass away, watched her suffer and die from disease. And me watching that, it put a lot of things in my mind. I would cough, and I was just like, oh, my God, I'm about to die. And no one kind of knew I was suffering with that. Any aches and pains I would get, I thought, oh, my God, it's cancer. Oh, my God, I just thought I was just going to pass away just from watching that. And that, I suffered with that for years. It took a while for me to even know, okay, I need to seek a therapist or something, to kind of help navigate me through what I was going through, because I didn't even know what I was going through. And I'm the type of person, I do believe in the tongue is being powerful. So a lot of people say, oh, my God, I'm depressed. Oh, I have that. I don't necessarily put a claim to it, but I like things to have an identity. You know what I'm saying? That way I can know what to do to try to help myself. And that's what I felt like I was doing. But the thing that you said I can't really get over, as I had gotten older, a part of that happening to me, it drew a lot of insecurities as far as how I saw myself and how people saw me, and me having a love for myself genuinely. I genuinely struggled, and still to this day, with actually having love for myself. I used to have a self-hatred for myself so strong to where I would say to myself, if I were to die today or tomorrow, I don't think anyone would care. But what I know what would happen to me if I were to off myself, I wouldn't want that to happen. So I think I'm going to try to stick it out. And I think my self-love and my self-worth is something I struggle with. And I have to, and now that I'm older, I have different tools to work through it. It's still a struggle, not as much of a struggle, but it's still a struggle. I have to constantly give myself affirmation. I have to constantly big myself up and stop seeking validation from outside sources. I think that's why a lot of my early relationships were not good to me, because I was actually seeking for outside validation. Yeah, that's a constant hurdle that I struggle with. I'm currently, I talk to, I have a therapist that I regularly talk to, not as often as I think I should. I think I need to up the ante on that, but, sometimes time it gets in the way and things like that. But, yeah, I think that would be the hurdle.
So you do have a therapist?
Yeah, I've seeked therapy before. I wouldn't say I have a therapist, but I seek. But since I've been up here, no. When I was there, I did, for sure. I have been actively looking and seeking for someone to, to get back in the groove of that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But one thing about therapy, you have to find someone that fits you. Because I was going to ask. I got a few questions for you on that. Yeah, definitely. I want to know. I have been to some people, and I was like, I might as well talk to myself. You know what I'm saying? I think, this is just me saying, I think black people they need black therapists. I feel like that has always been better for me. You know what I'm saying? Because there is some level of understanding, some level of trauma understanding of how we respond to things differently. You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, I'm currently seeking that. And, I just want the right fit because, my job offers things like that too. But, job therapy, we're just offering 3 sessions is free. It's kind of like, how you feeling? You okay? Good. Here's this whatever. You need to do this. Look at the sun 3 times and go back to this. No. I need, I want someone to seriously be like someone that I could really, get in depth with and know what they're doing and be professional about it and seem as if they care about what I'm actually going through. You know what I mean? and not just, I don't want to walk into a therapy session and feel like, here's number 24573. You know what I'm saying? I want to kind of have a more personable feeling to it, you know.
What if, okay, not trying to sell you, but I got to ask you this. What if you could get all of that from your therapist, everything you just asked? I got a checklist, so everything you just asked, you get in that. But when you walk in, we smoking. We literally rolling up. You ain't got to smoke. You just need to be comfortable with it. Unless you do smoke, which you can smoke. I ain't tripping. But the therapist is actually smoking and listening to you and breaking down all your issues and might give you like some solutions to your problems. What do you think of that? How you feeling?
If I'm comfortable with it, of course. I don't have a problem with smokers. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like if I am comfortable and I'm getting what I need, that has absolutely nothing to do. There's a lot of things I don't do, but I still, like, I don't drink either. I don't drink or smoke. But when I go out, my friends all drink. It doesn't stop me from hanging out with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still feeling like our friendship is still strong. I feel like if the character of the therapist is strong enough to vibe with mine, and I feel like there's a connection, and I feel like I'm getting the help that I need, and I feel like everything is copacetic in that situation, I'm here for it. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay. I bring it up only because like this whole time, like we've been talking, I've been smoking. You know, I smoke, and I do know that like sometimes people will discredit someone because they smoke weed, like meaning that I could give you like a real type service. I could package up something real nice for you. Not you. I'm just saying generally speaking. But if people will come in and be like, oh, but he's smoking weed, so it's like you can't take him serious as a therapist or something like that. I know the weed, even though it is medicinal in certain states and it is recreational in certain states, that people are, you know, they opening up to it. The laws are, you know, it's a little more lax now, so it's a little more acceptable, but I still think it carries that stigma. So, you know, that's what we're doing over here. You know, my show that I have is called Smoking with Your Therapist. And I think we discussed this earlier where it's like you provide solutions 1/8 at a time, you know, so you come sit on the couch with me. Usually people will come here, but, you know, you're so far away, so we can't really, you know, we're trying to make it do what it do. But you would come sit on the couch with me, you know what I'm saying? Got some good food for you downstairs. Got a little libation if you care to. Got water for you if you're not, you know. Got alkaline, got some water for you. But you're going to sit down and we're going to have like a little 45-minute session. And at minimum, you're going to walk away feeling better than you did before you sat down. Like that's at minimum, that's the goal, you know. And you know, we're going to laugh. We might cry. I don't know. You know, we might go deep. Who knows? But, yeah, that's what it is right now. You know, just smoking with your therapist, sitting down. We're trying to identify some real problems, create some tangible solutions. You know what I'm saying? But always, you know, we still going to have that reef in the air. So that's my little niche, my little market right now. So that's why when you brought up your therapist, I was like, oh, okay, so you actually do got a therapist. Now, were you diagnosed with depression and anxiety, or is that just something that you're kind of saying you have?
I wasn't, like, diagnosed, like, you're diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was seeing a therapist that I was kind of seeing like a life coach.
Got it.
And so the life coach, they can't really diagnose anything. So they were saying it was kind of like it's coming off as if you have depression and anxiety. And it was kind of like, in other words, in my 30 years of experience, you know what I mean? It's coming off as if it's depression and anxiety.
Well, okay. Just two quick questions on that, and we finna get up out of here because this done ran so long. But this is good. This is real good. What did your life coach say about the suicidal ideation? Like when you were talking about like how you might have felt like, you know, every little thing that any ailment, any illness that you got, you felt like, man, I could be dying from cancer. I could because of what you've seen your mother go through, all that type of trauma. What your life coach tell you on that? Like, what? You ain't got to go too deep. I'm just saying, like, did they really?
Yeah. She was saying mostly that was me, my child, reflecting off of what the trauma that I've experienced by watching my mother die. And it was kind of like me reverting that to myself, meaning like I saw that as a kid because, as kids, we're sponges, you know what I mean? So we absorb everything we see, so me watching that with my own two eyes, I subconsciously felt like, okay, that could happen to me because it happened out of the blue to my mom, you know what I mean? Like, and so she was just saying it was kind of, in a sense, like a defense mechanism to my, I don't know how she put it. I know it had to do with the response of me watching my mother go through that as a child. And it was kind of like I was believing that if that could happen to her, the person that I felt in my life was indestructible. Everyone feels like their mothers, that anything could happen to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like me projecting that from my childhood, and I had to, no, that's not going to happen to you. I had to really tell myself, no. I remember I had strep throat one day. This is a funny story. I had strep throat, the worst kind of strep throat ever known to man. I felt I was, because I thought I was going to literally die. And it was so bad when I went to the ER, I opened my mouth, and the doctor was like, oh, he did that. I started crying. Because I was, oh my God, listen, I had a touch of COVID. That was a break. That wasn't shit.
Right.
I had no symptoms, literally none. I had all my tape, I had everything. I was walking around here in cartwheels, you know what I'm saying? But when that's this strep throat, this was years ago, I just like, oh my God, what is it? Oh God, I'm about to die. I just knew I was going to go into the hospital and not walk out. And he was like, no, you have a really bad case of strep throat. I just always thought the worst. I would think about my own demise all the time. I would sabotage myself all the time. But I had to really get into practice and telling, no, that's not, it's going to happen to me. I could say I grew out of that after me, talking to my quote unquote therapist for I'm really kind of like, I got more self-aware of myself, and that worry kind of subsided in a sense.
I'm glad you made it through that, like, for real.
Oh yeah. But I feel like even now at this point in my life, I feel like everyone needs a therapist. I just feel like everyone needs to seek therapy regularly. Like you go to the doctor, you go get your annual physicals, and you get your annual checkups. You go to the dentist, you do all of that. I feel like people, as a society, we need to, especially Black people. I think Black people seeking therapy needs to be, brought to the forefront and talked about more, because, Black people see therapy as cliche. They feel, oh, it's just the devil. You can pray it away. You're crying and you're depressed all the time. Just go to God, which is a help. I feel like you can do that. I feel like layer it. Go to God, pray with your therapist. Pray before you go to therapy. Pray when you leave. You know what I'm saying? But still get that, that help.
You can have the faith, but you got to put the work in, You
got to put the work in.
You, who gonna help yourself? Like, you can't
faith
just
without work.
Man, I'm taking straight to him.
I have
really
a question.
Appreciate you doing this with me, man.
I don't want to prolong it. I think
go ahead.
Okay, this is back to the weed smoke thing. Okay, because
go ahead, get it out.
I'm not gonna say I have a dilemma with it, but I have a question about smoking in general, especially when it comes to marijuana. Okay, I ask people a lot of times when they're smokers and they come into my circle or whatever, they come into my space, and I ask them, because a lot of people, I know a lot of people that smoke, and I know a lot of people that drink or whatever, but with the smoking thing, I ask them, why do you smoke? Okay, that's one. And you smoking, does it have a purpose in your life? And are you able to keep up with your habit? What I mean by that is a lot of people who smoke, they're not able to afford their habits or whatever, or the reason why they smoke is it could be for social reasons, or their friends are doing it and things of that nature. And then another question I do ask sometimes is, how did you get started with smoking. Because what I've noticed about smoking culture, I don't know if that's the right word to say it. A lot of people that smoke, I feel like a lot of people do it out of habit. Because I knew a couple that were smoking, and I observed them, and I say, how high do you get? Because if it takes you 10 to 12 blunts a day for you to get high, I honestly feel like your body is at a point to where it's like, bitch, I don't need this. Because you're actually not high, and you're saying, oh, I'm stressed out, I need to smoke, but that one blunt is not going to get you high. I feel like you've told yourself that, and your mind is like, okay, when I put this thing to my mouth, it's going to make me feel like my problems is going away, when actually I'm actually doing it myself, because I'm not actually getting high off of the marijuana. Because I don't smoke, so I don't know. I'm just saying from what I've observed, and I'm in a relationship right now with someone that smokes very heavy, and they'll smoke, and they'll say stuff like, words like, oh, you blew my high. So I'm saying, like, if you're high, there shouldn't be nothing to blow it. Like, if I'm drunk, someone can slap me across my face, I'm not going to get undrunk. Or I'm not going to get, you know what I'm saying? I feel like when people sometimes smoke, I think it can be because of, and then a lot of times I see people smoking in groups and things of that nature. Not saying that's what everyone does. Like you said, some people do it for medicinal reasons, medical reasons, and things of that nature. Some people actually really enjoy it. Some people actually really, you know, it's really helpful to them in some way, shape, or form. But I feel like at what point can you say, I'm just smoking just to do it? You know what I'm saying? It's not really helping my mood. I say it does, but it's not really, because I'm still mad, or I'm still sad, I'm still whatever. I'm not actually getting high anymore because I smoke so much, my body has become immune to it. It's like I say I'm high, but I just feel like I'm not actually really high. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it, because I feel like I don't necessarily have to smoke. I've smoked before. I've been high. I don't like the feeling of it. I cannot stand it. I was so high one day to where I thought I said, no. I don't like to be high. I don't like that feeling at all. Help me out, because you smoke, and you've been smoking, so help me out. Help me out to understand the reasoning behind it and why you do it. Is it helping you in a way, shape, or form? Like, if you understand what I'm trying to say to you.
So I'm somewhat of a weed connoisseur.
Okay.
I've been smoking over half my life. So the first time I ever smoked was with Bubba. And it was, I don't know if it might have been peer pressure, but not really. It was just, I'm with my big cousin, and this was my big cousin doing, so shit, I'm finna do this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much here, you want to hit this, you want to hit, nah, it's just like, oh, it was a joint too. Like, shit, fuck that, yeah, I hit that bitch, you know what I'm saying? I'm with cuz, like, shit, yeah, I'm finna hit that bitch. But, and I was young. I was like probably like 15 then when I like just hit it. And then I ain't smoking for a while after that. It took a while. And then, you know, just round people, and it's like, oh shit, y'all smoking shit, I hit that bitch. You know, and it's just every once in a while hitting it, that type of stuff. Then when I got to high school, oh man, it was like just the people that I was around, they had it. So, and I always had a car, and I was always in like OJT, which is on job training, like a class in school. So I had OJT since 10th grade. Like after Christmas, 10th grade, like I was leaving and leaving like around 11 o'clock, you know, every day. So they had the weed, I had the car, and I could leave school early. Nigga, we out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it began, you know. And so it wasn't never peer pressure for me. It was, oh, y'all got some weed? Yeah, let me hit that. Like, shit, straight up. It was just always in me, you know. So, yeah, I've been like that for quite some time. You say purpose, though. That's interesting. That's an interesting question. I don't think it's a habit. I think it's a hobby for me. I enjoy the process. I look at it as like it's a ritual. I enjoy the process of breaking down my reefer. I like to roll blunts. You know what I'm saying? I roll backwoods. I'll freak a spliff. I definitely know how to roll spliffs and shit. Yeah, that's for my yachties. But I don't know. I don't know the purpose. I just know it's part of me. Like, it's been part of me for a very long time. Like, even when I was young and didn't know how to smoke, like, but okay, now, one of my best friends, Dre, he'll vouch for me on this. We used to be in the neighborhood. Like, I probably was like 8, maybe 10, something like that. No, it had to be like 10, 10, 11, something like that. Yeah, 10, 11. I ain't gonna go that young. Probably like 10 or 11. And we used to be walking around the neighborhood and shit, and the older niggas was smoking and stuff. I didn't see them, but I would always be like, damn, well, you smell that? He's like, nah, Dub, I don't know what you talking about. I'm like, you don't smell that shit? I was a bloodhound for it. Back then, I never smoked, but I just knew what it was like. So, I don't know. It was always something that I did. And I don't think that it hinders me because of how I do it. Some people, I don't know. I think they can't live without it. I can't live without it. I ain't finna be no hypocrite. I'll say it like this though. I don't let it control me. So
Okay.
I'm one of those people that I handle my business. But that's just my personality. I think whatever your personality is, the weed's going to enhance it. So my personality has always been, I'm going to handle my business, then I'm going to play. Like, I love to play hard. Don't get it twisted. I love to play, but I cannot play and my shit ain't together. So make sure you go do what the fuck you need to do. And then, nigga, hey, turn up. Hey, wheels up. Wheels up at 11, nigga. We out of here. You know what I'm saying? Clipboard, baby. So, we taking flight. So, but I have to handle my business first. A lot of my friends, a lot of people I know, they handle their business. Don't get it twisted. But it's just, nigga, as soon as I wake up, nigga, I got to hit that blunt. I got to get right. I don't understand that, but like if I'm on vacation or I ain't doing shit today, then yeah, we could wake up and we turn it up. We smoking first thing in the morning. But if I got shit to do, like constructively, as an adult, I can't be waking up like, zooted first thing in the morning. It don't make sense.
Question.
Not for me. Not for me. Yeah.
So question. Can you function, like say if you go the first half of your day without smoking, can you function properly?
Well, it's a choice. So this is what I mean. Marijuana to me is one of those drugs where it's a choice. So you're not actually addicted to the marijuana. All right? That's my opinion. I think I can prove that shit though, because with the weed, out of sight, out of mind. It don't be calling you like the other drugs, and you don't have to have withdrawals too much. Like when you try to wean off of it and stuff.
Right, but let me pause you right there before you go to the next one, because sometimes people, that's going to a point of mine. Sometimes people make it seem like as if it's calling them like that. Like I've seen people like spaz out. I ain't hit my blunt, y'all. I need me a blunt. I need a blunt. I need to smoke, right? And I'm like, dang, is that serious? Like,
yeah, that's a little extra. That's a little extra.
I can't log on my computer. I can't do this. I need to hit me up. You know why? You know why I'm agitated? Why? Because I ain't hit me a blunt yet. I'm like, wait, really? I'm like,
okay,
that's how it is. And then I say to myself,
but now is that their personality though? Is that their personality though? Like meaning that. Because I'm telling you, the weed intensifies.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Are they already kind of like that? But of course they probably ain't gonna be like that once they get the blunt. Yeah, but is that part of them?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Most of the time it is. Most of the time it is. Sometimes.
Man, I don't know. I just think that everybody got a vice. Like we all got something. Like you might not smoke, you might not drink, but it's something you do that would be considered an addictive thing in a sense. If you're human, I could be wrong on that. I'm going out on a limb with that one, but yeah, come on, everybody got something, man. Like, what's your vice? Like my wife right now, coffee and a bagel. That's her goddamn vice. I can't even pass a Dunkin' Donuts right now. Man, this shit crazy. Oh my God! Give. She want Dunkin' Donuts and points. That's her life right now. You know. So yeah, we all got a vice. What's yours? What's your vice?
Shit, a vice?
Yeah, come on, cause the weed smoke is a vice. That's how I look at it. Drinking is a vice. Gambling is a vice. You play lotto?
No. I mean, I
Okay.
play it, but every.
But now you ain't one of them.
Um,
Yeah, no. You ain't no player.
Oh, I play. I try to get a scratch off once every 3 weeks or some shit, or play a quick pick once a month or something, something like that. Just I see it. Let me go ahead and play if I got extra change or something.
Okay. Well, are you a foodie? Like, what about that? Is food your passion? Do you like food and all that type of shit?
You know what? I can say I'm a foodie. I love to eat, but I do intermittent fasting though. Like I can control that at any point in my life. So would that consider me to be a foodie though?
No, probably not because of the intermittent fasting part, meaning that you can control it. You turn it on and turn it off when you want.
Yeah, I can turn it. I can.
Yeah, probably not. That's pretty good that you got that. That's some good discipline.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We got to wrap this up anyways. I appreciate you doing this with me, cuz I really do. I always end my shows like this. So, what do you call me? Name. How do we meet?
What do I call you and how did we meet?
Yeah. Because see, you got to understand, like, this whole show, like, no one knows my name. And I talk to different people who I find important, I find fascinating, I think they're interesting. I want to get their stories out. And I got so many nicknames. And I asked you about yours. So I just want you to, like, if you saw me somewhere besides cuz, because, that's what we going to say. Cuz is definitely cuz, because we cousins. But you know me. So if you had to introduce me to somebody or, like you had to call my name, or what's the name that you would call me?
I would call you your first name.
Go ahead, say it. You put out to the world with it. Okay. Now, how did we meet?
At
What's
a
your
birthday
first memory
party
of me?
when we were like 2.
See, here we go. I knew it. At a birthday party when I was 2. Oh, my God.
We met at a sleepover. We met at a family gathering at Thanksgiving or Christmas at church. Outside.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me, though, for real, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, cuz. Call me anytime.
Okay.
Call me anytime. All right. If you need me to do another episode, I'm cool. I'm down for it.
Put the eighth down. Put the eighth down. Man, put the eighth down and come solve these problems.
Understand I don't know y'all. Remember, I love everybody. I am not your licensed therapist, and nothing shared on this podcast should be taken as medical, mental health, or legal advice. The discussions we have here are for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. We engage in open, honest conversations, sometimes including the mindful use of cannabis in a therapeutic setting. So kick back, take what resonates, and remember, always consult your own licensed professional for personalized guidance.